March 1999. Somewhere in the New Mexico desert, a woman was running for her life. Barefoot, bruised, wearing a metal dog collar around her neck. Behind her sat a trailer investigators would later describe as one of the most horrifying crime scenes they had ever encountered. But at that moment, nobody outside that desert knew what was hidden inside. Not the police, not the town, not even the people living a few houses away. Sometimes, it looks like an old mechanic living quietly in a trailer park. Truth or consequences, New Mexico. Population, small. Endless desert. Empty highways. The kind of place where everyone recognizes your truck, but nobody asks questions. During the day, the town looked ordinary. Old diners, mechanics, retirees, dust blowing through empty streets. But at night, the desert became something else entirely. Silent, isolated, endless darkness in every direction. The perfect environment for secrets. David Parker Ray didn't look like a monster. That's what disturbed investigators the most. He looked normal, older, quiet, calm, the type of man people ignored, which may have been exactly what made him so dangerous. Investigators later believed that Ray spent years building fantasies around domination and torture. Not impulsive violence, planned violence, organized violence. The difference matters, because impulsive killers explode emotionally. But predators like Ray prepare. Imagine what investigators must have thought while reconstructing his life. A man waking up every morning, going to work, talking to neighbors, then allegedly returning home to engineer human suffering with mechanical precision. That contradiction haunted the case, because if someone like Ray could exist unnoticed for decades, how many others existed too? Behind Ray's property sat the trailer, weathered metal, rusted edges, unremarkable from the outside. But investigators would later discover that inside, every object appeared to serve a purpose. Chains, restraints, mirrors attached above a chair, whips, surgical tools, cables, instructions. It looked less like a room, and more like a system. Imagine waking up there, drugged, disoriented, your vision slowly clearing, metal restraints tightening around your wrists, the smell of rust, dust, sweat, and somewhere nearby, a tape recorder clicking on. According to investigators, Ray allegedly created an audio tape for victims. Not because he was improvising. That's what makes the tape so horrifying psychologically. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't chaotic. It sounded procedural, cold, rehearsed, like a pilot explaining emergency instructions before takeoff. Imagine being the victim hearing that voice, still weak from sedation, trying to understand whether this was real, hoping it was some kind of nightmare, then slowly realizing nobody was coming. Investigators believed Ray targeted vulnerable women, runaways, women struggling with addiction, women less likely to be immediately searched for. And, according to prosecutors, he understood exactly how vulnerable they were, which suggests something terrifying. This wasn't random. It was calculated selection. Predators like Ray don't just search for victims. They search for invisibility. Someone society might overlook. Someone whose disappearance could dissolve into paperwork. And in the isolation of the New Mexico desert, that invisibility became deadly. Investigators soon connected another name to the crimes. Cindy Hendy, Ray's girlfriend. Her role remains one of the most disturbing parts of the case, because psychologically, people struggle to understand how someone becomes involved in horrors like this. Fear? Manipulation? Shared sadism? The answer may never be fully known. Then came the mistake, the moment everything collapsed. Cynthia Vigil woke up, restrained inside the trailer. Ray had gone to work. Hendy remained behind, and somehow, Vigil escaped. Police entered the property, expecting assault evidence. What they discovered instead shocked even experienced investigators. Videotapes, drawings, devices, notes, evidence suggesting long-term preparation. Investigators reportedly feared they had uncovered a serial predator operating for years. Imagine standing inside that trailer as an investigator, realizing every object around you was intentionally placed, realizing this wasn't a sudden crime scene. It was infrastructure, a machine built around suffering. And then came the biggest question. Where were the bodies? Despite suspicions of multiple murders, investigators struggled to conclusively connect Ray to large numbers of deaths. Some believed victims had been drugged and released. Others believed many were never found. Rumors spread rapidly online. Secret burial sites, desert graves, underground accomplices. But over time, the line between fact and myth became blurred. In 2002, David Parker Ray died of a heart attack, before investigators could uncover everything they wanted to know, which means some answers may have disappeared forever. Cases like this terrify people for a specific reason, not because they feel impossible, but because they feel possible. A quiet man, a hidden trailer, years of secrecy, and a town that never realized what was happening beside them. Somewhere in the New Mexico desert, the wind still moves across empty roads. The trailer is gone, but the story remains. Half fact, half nightmare. And maybe that uncertainty is the most disturbing part of all.